Good morning. Well, let me turn that down a little bit. Hey. New Memorial Day coming up. Weekend, long weekend for some. New vehicle. Same old ideas. I needed to kind of do something here. And the something is, when we talk about things, and I say things, I grew up in a culture where I grew up in a family that was heated arguments, and I mean, we're more passionate about things, and so people would look and go, good God, and we're just more emotional. Let's say it that way. Empath, whatever you want to call it. I drive down the middle of the road and I'm just sitting here, watching weird shit go on just like the rest of us. I'm just not jumping in the gutter on either side for either, of the extremists. But that being said, when you sit and talk with somebody, it used to be that, you just don't talk about politics or don't talk about religion. Basically, don't talk about touching points because it bothers people or whatever, There's where my skin starts to crawl. I don't know about everyone else, but there's where you begin to have a problem. Because at some point, whether you want to talk about it or not, it is what defines us. It is what divides us. It is something that comes up. So if you can't encroach that or know how to engage in that area, even just a little bit, on a civil level, I'm not talking about full-out debate, but for crying out loud, if you can't even talk about it on a civil level and get in and out of some of the discussions or some of the topics like that, no matter what it is, I just brought up religion or politics, there's a problem. There's a big problem. And that's where some of us, that's where the problem really comes up, when you're seeing people and they get frustrated or mad or opposite, or they get depressed or whatever, in situations. You have to be able to talk about these things, I grew up in an ideology that everything was fucking open. Oh, sorry for my language. But that's what I mean right there. That everything was open. For the most part. There is some things you're obviously not going to talk about in front of kids or whatever. But everything is open for discussion. That way, when you come across those topics, you know how to talk about them. I was raised in a junior high level, mind you, to talk about psychology, sociology, culture of religion. And the religion one, I can still remember the teacher turning around and going, you know what? It's easy to talk about religion, to know the basics, to know your big ones and your small ones, your majors and your minor religions, and what differentiates between them and who they are. And you know why? And this is probably easier to say than on the political end of things. But the reason why you do is because the rest of your life, you're going to come across people like that. The rest of your life, you don't know if all of a sudden you're going to be in a job that they ask you to go to India, you have no idea whether you're going to be in a job or in a situation where you go to Mexico or Canada or Brazil or, Slovakia, Ukraine, Nicaragua, name them. We get in this little bubble of the United States thinking that we can't be touched. You know what? You can close your blinds on your house. That just means that you can't really see, that people can't see into your house. And you really can't, you don't know how that person or that thing, that fear, will be 10 feet closer to you than, say, 30. Okay? You've got to be able to talk civilly about situations, religion, because it's what defines us and what makes us. Okay? That's what I wanted to talk about. This is Memorial Day, a time that you remember those that have fallen during wars. And, let's get real. We have no way off this planet yet on a large scale. And there's bound to be wars and famines and all that. But ultimately, we're going to start populating to the point that we need to have these discussions. And if you can't talk about them, you're going to be uptight. You're going to have problems. There's my Memorial Day talk. Nothing but love. I wish nothing but love for everyone. And, and I just hope everyone stays safe out there.